A little while ago we put out a trick called Cat and Mouse, and Ian Adair came up with a lovely variation on it, which I thought added to it considerably. Very, very easy to do, and I'm going to run through that now. You'll find it on our website under tips and hints, but I thought that it would be a good idea to refilm this with Ian's addition. So here we go. And you tell the story about a little mouse who lives very happily in this particular house. In fact, he lives in this skirting board, and everything is absolutely fine until one day disaster strikes. The owners of the house decide to bring in 3 large ferocious cats, and the little mouse was not happy at all. Now you consider what you would do if you were a little mouse and 3 large ferocious cats came to live in the same house. Well, I tell you what he did. He turned his back on them and ran as far away as he could. And I'll just put the card there so we know exactly where he is. There's a big M on the back, and that stands for mouse. So just remember, M is for mouse, and we know where the little mouse is. So let me tell you a little bit more about the 3 cats. The first one was called Marmalade, and he was very, very clever. And he thought, well, what he would do is go and hide at the little mouse hole, and he would catch the mouse when the mouse returned. But he thought that he would check first that the mouse hole was actually completely empty. So he looked inside, and in fact, down at the bottom, he found that there was a message, and the message said, "Gone for lunch." The little mouse had left a message and obviously gone out to find some cheese. So Marmalade thought, right, well, I will wait here and I'll sneak in at the back of the mouse hole and wait for him to come. So that is Marmalade. We know where Marmalade is because there's a big M. M is for Marmalade, so remember that. Now the other 2 cats, who were also brothers, the first one was called Marmaduke, and we know where he is all the time because there's a big M on the back, M for Marmaduke. And the last one was called Marmite. Do you know why he was called Marmite? Because he tastes absolutely disgusting. And we know where Marmite is because there's a big M on the back. So there are Marmaduke and Marmite, and they decided to go hunting for the little mouse, and you know, they found him and they started to chase him. They chased him up into the bedrooms, down the stairs, through the kitchen, out into the garden, through the orchard, back inside, into the washroom. But we always know where the little mouse is, of course, because as I told you right at the beginning, and if I just found them out, we can see easily, M is for mouse. So the card that's got the big M on the back is, of course, the little mouse, which is this. I think we've done something wrong, haven't we? Because they've all got M on the back. We've got a bit of a disaster. So I tell you what. Who thinks, we'll have a guessing game, who thinks that this one is the little mouse? Some of you, all right? But in fact, that is Marmaduke. Bad luck. So who thinks it's this one, which is the little mouse? Again, some of you. But that, in fact, is Marmite. How do we know it's Marmite? Because of you. Tastes absolutely. And who are the really clever ones here who knew all along that this was the little mouse? Oh, lots of you, even those of you who voted for the other 2 cards are thinking that it is. So let me turn it round, and there we are. There is no, that's Marmalade. So hang on, we've got Marmalade, Marmaduke and Marmite. We know, of course, who they are because they've all got big M's on the back. But the little mouse has disappeared. Well, where on earth can the little mouse be? I mean, he's disappeared completely, hasn't he? You think he's here? This one? That couldn't be him. It couldn't be him, because that would be real magic. You think this is the little mouse? Well, if it is the little mouse, we give him a huge cheer. Let's take it out. Oh, and look at that. It is the little mouse. Give him a big, big clap. And as I told you right at the beginning, M is for mouse. So that is Cat and Mouse from Practical Magic with an addition, a very clever addition by Ian Adair.